Hey guys, it's Grim here, Grim Gaming UK. Let's do it. Okay, what I want to talk about today is something close to my heart with regards to Guild Wars 2, and that is PvP. Primarily, in this case, World versus World, which is more my favourite leaning to the rather than the scenario setting. So, first point. Enemy players not having a name over their head, but a generic green team, red team, blue team, and that's it. So, as with all things, there's pros and cons to this. Pros. It should, in theory, as long as the teams are balanced, give a greater emphasis to the role of commander and to squad leaders. What you're really going to need is, if you need to focus fire, you're going to need one of them, either the regional commander or your squad leader, to be saying, here, Control T, target this guy, we need to drop him now. So there's not just, okay, let's go for that healer, his name is blah, on vent, and you can just target that guy and drop him. You're actually going to need focused command. That's going to be important. And that's great. That gives a far better dynamic to organised PvP, world versus world. Now another point, and I'm not sure how correct this will be, so if I'm wrong I apologise, but certainly in Warhammer, higher ranked renowned players, it was called in Warhammer, dropped better crests which bought better gear. And generally, if you knew somebody had, Warlord or dropped a Sovereign crest, which was the very top one, you would target that player because you wanted them to drop their Sovereign so you could pick it up. Now, if you don't know the name of the player, really gear is going to be the only thing looking, his appearance is the only thing that's going to tell you how good they are. Now, I'm not sure whether that's going to be correct, whether the higher rank they are, the better emblems they've dropped. The only ones I saw were the standard silver, I think the hero ones. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's obviously another benefit of not knowing names. You're going to have to look at the guy, get a feel for the gear. In PvP you can do that. In World v World it's generally more hectic, more chaotic than actually being able to pick out one specific player and just going, okay, I'm going to wade into, as you can see on the screen now, that whole bunch of red players just to pick up one guy. So there's another one. Now, on to the cons. Okay, the big one. Immersion. It's not quite the same as going, oh look, there's the red team. If you see particular players that you know are good players from the opposite team, you get that slight rush. It's like, okay, now we're up against some serious players and a good guild. Even just having the guild name would be good, and maybe a guild name and a rank. But just the guild, you'd know, okay, I'm up against some good players, this is going to be a good fight, and you grow respect for them. And you don't get that if it's just a generic red name. Yeah, you can look at gear, but it's not the same. It used to be a rush when you saw, you'd go up against a certain guild in Warhammer, and you knew they were good. They might have been a good bombing group, which is where they got all of their bright wizards. Healers focused healing them, browsers run in, bang, and nuke the lot of you, and you'll be dead. And you had guilds who are very good at that, and you'd have to adapt your tactics, knowing what their tactics were. Now, yeah, you can argue that me saying about the immersion, you don't know in real life who you're fighting. You don't go up to, Johnny or Mohammed or whoever and go, oh, hi, what's your name? Okay, cool. I'm going to go back to my lines now, and then I'll start shooting at you. I just need to know your name. It's all good, though. So, it's kind of like, saying it's an immersion thing is retarded, but it is true. Just having a generic name, it doesn't really help feed the community. I want to be able to say, okay, good example. I had a 1v1 with a thief, and the video isn't on this video, but I will be showing it because I want to do a talk over of it. And we had a really good fight, and it ended up being that 3 of us hunted her down and killed her. But I say she was a female character, but they were very good, and it was a really good fight between the 2 of us. It was good fun. So I would have really liked to have gone on the forum and said, by the way, to such and such thief of the red guild or of the red server playing against Desolation, big respect, thoroughly enjoyed fighting you, really good time. thank you. But I can't do that. I don't know who they were. I can just put thank you to a thief. So, and that sort of thing brings a community together. You know, makes me post on the forum. Hopefully, it makes them post back, and all of a sudden, you're building up a rapport with people. I can't do that if I just go on the forum. Oh, who was that guild or who was that person that was at such and such at this time and did this and did that? You're not helping build. You might build a server community, but you're not helping build a, a game wide community, and that's a shame. Now I know the way they've counteracted this by having this world speak, for want of a better term, and that's on to my next point. Just one last finishing bit. The one thing I do like, and I'm going back to pros now, with regards to this generic green team, red team, whatever, is the fact that certainly in Warhammer, towards the end, you had you had aimbots, which were basically designed that one person would click a target, then one person would click aim assist, the rest of the group would then click aim assist, and everybody would instantly snap onto that person and drop them in seconds, and they would just tab target around until everybody was dead. Now, you shouldn't have that. That's not, I don't want to say in the spirit, but that isn't right. So, hopefully, if they do bring names in, or they bring something in, there is a way of not having that kind of modding target system, because it's not right. So, yeah, that's my first point. That's generic names over the top. On to the next. Okay, this will be my last one for this video, because I already realised I'm bloody 6 minutes in. My god, I ramble. Okay, last one is the chat box, where you have, all of a sudden, in PvP, you can see everything on WvWvW. This I do not like. Stop this now. Basically, during the beta, you could see what the other realms or worlds were talking about. So, if it was red text, you could see that the red team, I was predominantly blue, you could see that the red team were about to take your keep. And there are actually people doing coordinated tactics, very good tactics, fair play to them. And you knew exactly what they were going to do. There was one group that was saying, push their main keep as a false front, and we'll push around the back and take the supply camp. Now, how good's that? You know, all of a sudden I know exactly what you're going to do. Now, basically, you'll see here, there was a guy coming across the bridge. We knew that it was a feint. He was scouting us out, because we could see region chat. So, how is that a good thing at all? It's not good for tactics, because you may have people that aren't on Ventrilo or on another voice comms system that are trying to coordinate in region chat, or somebody that's trying to coordinate the pugs. So they're playing with their guild, they're trying to say, okay guys, I need to get you lot focused together. And all of a sudden, they're broadcasting to everyone. That's not good. Now, I know they've said that there's a team system that's in but wasn't implemented in beta, so, you know, a lot of these points that I'm making, guys, may be generic beta things that they've just, okay, we'll put that in place, so then that it's playable, but it's not the polished, finished article, so that's fine. Okay, guys, to summarise, the generic names above the heads, I don't have an issue with. Doesn't bother me one way or the other. It's the repercussions that come from it. If you put the names in without having a way of targeting people with the mods and so on, then fine, I haven't got an issue with it. Or at least put guilds in, so red server and a guild, something like that underneath them, or something that just gives me an indication, because that is fun, at least knowing you're coming up against a guild. With regards to region name, please take that out, because you are going to end up having people farming, and also people trying to seriously do tactics and not be able to focus the pugs where they want them, and that's going to hurt World versus World, especially in a game where everybody can heal and everybody can res. You need tactics, you need to focus, because it will just end up being numbers zerg. It'll be, I've got more numbers, therefore I can win. Easy. So hopefully they'll take that and think about it and tweak it, and they'll bring in, we'll be able to play with a commander system next speed out, and we'll be able to have this team talk system better, and also the targeting system, which none of them are in. So it'll be good to see. Anyway, guys, that's the end of my rant. Coming up shortly, hopefully today, maybe tomorrow, will be my Captain America video, where you will see the latest and greatest recruit the Titans come in, and Pwn in World vs. World. So stay tuned for that, guys. Our new recruit, Captain USA. Have a good one, guys. What you want?